Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Torah Outreach Program, Erev Shabbos, Burst of Inspiration. Normally, I get sponsors for this video, and that sponsorship goes directly to paying for editing this video and the Torah Outreach Program presence on social media. Instagram, Facebook, whatever, the website, the people that are taking care of that program, of those programs, get paid from the money that I make for sponsorships. When people want to dedicate the Torah that is being learned on this video for different people, either someone who passed away in their memory or in honor of someone. This week, I didn't ask for any sponsors. I didn't want any, because I want to make the dedication myself. A few days ago, I reconnected with an old Talmud, a student of mine, who is fighting in Gaza. And he told me that his brother, his little brother, who I remember when I had this student, he was in 6th grade, and his little brother was just born. His little brother is fighting up in Lebanon. I forgave anybody else that wanted to sponsor, because I wanted to do this for them. And their names are Yoel Eliyahu ben Devorah Velya and Zev Eliezer ben Devorah Velya. And in the Zechus, in the merit of the Torah being learned from whoever listens to this video, should stand in good stead for these two dedicated soldiers who are defending our people in Eretz, in Israel. In this week's Parshas Va'era, we begin the famous 10 plagues, the Makos. And the first Mako, the first plague, Moshe warns Pharaoh. He says, Elokei Evrim shalachani elecha, the God of the Jews has sent me to you. Lemor, saying, Shlach hasami v'yavduni, send out my people so they can serve me b'midbar, in the desert. V'hine lo shamata adko, and you haven't listened to me until now. Ko amar Hashem, so therefore, thus says the Lord, Bezos teda ki ani Hashem, with this you will know that I'm God. I'm going to hit with the staff that is in my hand, alamayim, on the water, asher bior, and that's in the river, v'nefchu ladam, and the water is going to turn to blood. You're going to, and why am I doing it? Says Moshe. Why is God doing this? One reason. Bezos teda, so you will know ki ani Hashem, that I'm God. Because previously, when Moshe came to Paro says, who's God that I should listen to him? I don't know any God that I have to listen to. Never heard of the God of the Jews, sorry. So, he got exactly what he deserved. You want proof? I'll give you proof. I'll shake you up. Sadly, at the end of the Mako, at the end of the plague, 7 days later, Paro ignored it. And therefore, he had to get it again and again and again, 9 more times after that, until finally he woke up. And you wonder, how can you ignore such incredible plagues, such incredible miracles that defies every single law of nature that there is? And why did God send these plagues? Why didn't he just wipe out the Egyptians, 1, 2, 3, and send out the Jewish people? So I'll answer the first question, or the second question first. Why didn't he just kill out the Egyptians and send out the Jewish people? These miracles were to prove exactly this. Ki ani Hashem. I'm God. I'm in charge. And I can do what I want. The Egyptians worshipped nature. All the different powers of nature were a deity into themselves. And the Jewish people, who had been under Egyptian influence for the last 210 years, were leaning towards believing like the Egyptians. So God had to turn nature over and say, all nature are rules that I follow. But since I made the rules, I can change the rules. Watch this. And for the next 10 plagues, each plague defied another rule of what we call nature, where nature is nothing more, again, than God's will that we see on a regular basis. What's a miracle? When we see something that defies what we consider nature. But why does he do it? Again, Bezos Teda, with this you will know, ki ani Hashem, that I'm God. But then my first question was, how do you ignore that? Why did we have to do it again and again before he finally woke up? And the answer is, there's a term called cognitive dissonance. You believe what you want to believe. You don't believe what you see. You believe what you want to believe, even if you see something that is completely against your beliefs. Because if I do that, if I believe what I just saw, so I have to change my way of life, I can't do that. I can't do that. I have to keep living the way I want to live. So I'm going to ignore what I just saw, and I'm not going to believe it. It's human nature. There are many, many times I've argued with people who have called themselves agnostics and atheists and proved to them 100% you can't ignore the fact that there are miracles going on around us at all times, and they just shrug it off and say, sorry, you're not going to change me. I'm not going to change the way I believe. Why not? Because this is who I am. Cognitive dissonance. We, this generation, have seen miracles, according to a rabbi named Rabbi Yaakov Emden, have seen miracles over modern history that surpass the miracles of the Exodus from Egypt, the splitting of the Red Sea, the plagues. We've seen miracles that surpass that. The miracles that we've seen is a survival of our people. What other nation has gone through what we've gone through and lived to tell about it? People say Jews complain a lot. Yeah, we complain a lot because we've been through enough to complain. Other people have been through things that we've been through, but once they've gone through them, they're no longer here and they're extinct. But we're still here. And that's a miracle in itself. But we refuse to believe it sometimes. I heard a story just recently of two Israeli soldiers. One of them was telling a rabbi how his friend, while they were out fighting, a snake wrapped himself around this guy's legs, a poisonous snake. Neither of these soldiers were religious. But the friend, when the snake wrapped himself around him, he screamed out, Shema Yisrael, and the snake went away. And because of that, this guy who told the story said his friend became religious. He realized this is, God made a miracle for him, and he has to do something about it, and became religious. So the rabbi turned to him and said, what about you? You saw a miracle also. He said, yeah, but it didn't happen to me. It didn't happen to me. So I don't have to change my life. I just saw it. We're seeing miracles every day right now. Turn on the news. See what's happening in Gaza. See the victories that are supernatural. There are people who are not like Pharaoh, who see miracles and they realize there's a God out there and he just gave me my life as a gift. I need to do something for him. On the bottom of this page, there's a link. And that link is a video of one of those people that tells his story. He tells it in Hebrew, but there are English subtitles. And what he saw on October 7th, and how he was saved on October 7th, shook him to his core. And October 8th, he and his wife turned their lives around. Please, take a look at that video and realize we're not living in regular times now. We are living in a time, Ko Amar Hashem. So says Hashem, Bizos Teda Ki Ani Hashem. With this you will know that I'm God. And we should open up our eyes. Chams.